Where does Europe end and Asia begin? That's quite a tricky question without a clear answer, because at first glance there's no visible border separating them. Europe is considered its own continent more for historical, cultural, and political reasons, rather than for any obvious geographical division. Many geographers have tried to define the boundary between Europe and Asia, but there is no single agreed-upon line, and the whole thing is quite confusing. Today, I'll try to guide you through all this chaos. In European schools, the border is usually taught according to the International Geographical Union. It starts with the Ural Mountains, which stretch across almost all of Russia. The border runs along their eastern foothills, so the whole mountain range still belongs to Europe. From there, it follows the rivers Ural, Or, and Emba through Kazakhstan down to the Caspian Sea. Yup, part of Kazakhstan is actually in Europe. Crazy. From the Caspian Sea to the Sea of Azov, the border follows what's called the Kuma-Manich Depression along the rivers. Well, Kuma and Manich, and then it's just across the Black Sea and through the Bosporus and Dardanelles Straits into the Mediterranean. Disagreements already start in the first section. While the modern view places the border at the eastern foothills of the Urals, older opinions placed it along the mountain ridge. According to the International Geographical Union, though, geomorphologically it's a single unit, so in terms of physical geography, it shouldn't be divided. Hence why today the border is drawn at the foothills. In the next section, the line is often traced only along the Ural River to the Caspian Sea without the Or and Emba. Even then, a part of Kazakhstan still falls within Europe, which is why some versions of the border simply follow Kazakhstan's state boundaries. The biggest confusion, though, comes in the next part, between the Caspian and Black Seas. The International Geographical Union places the line along the Kuma-Manich Depression because during the Ice Age, there was a strait here connecting the two seas, making it feel like the most natural boundary. Geographers from the US and the UK disagree. They argue the border should run along the ridge of the Caucasus Mountains, since that range was once considered the birthplace of the Caucasoid race, an idea tied to the old belief that Noah's Ark supposedly landed there. Anyway, if we accepted that definition, Mount Elbrus would count as part of Europe, and with its 5,600 meters, it would dethrone Mont Blanc as the highest mountain in Europe. That's one reason why France and Italy, whose borders run through Mont Blanc, will never accept the Caucasus as Europe's boundary, because having only the second highest mountain in Europe is not nearly as cool. With this border, small parts of Georgia and Azerbaijan would also fall inside Europe. Some British geographers take things to extremes, saying the border should run along the northern frontiers of Turkey and Iran, which would put all of Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan inside Europe. If I had to sum up the border between Asia and Europe in one word, it would be chaos. The states on the edge try to take advantage of this chaos as much as possible. A great example is football. Kazakhstan used to play in the Asian League, but in 2002 it switched to the European one. All three Caucasus states also play there and take part in other European competitions like Eurovision. In Russia and Kazakhstan, the border between Europe and Asia is used to attract tourists. There are several monuments along the Ural River, and in Orenburg, they even built a special pedestrian bridge for crossing continents. Another example is the European Union, which Georgia and Turkey are seeking to join. Cyprus has been an EU member since 2004, even though geographically it belongs to Asia. Culturally, though, it's much closer to Europe. And that's another thing. The cultural border of Europe doesn't really match the geographical one. Take the Balkans, for instance. For centuries, they were under the Ottoman rule. There are lots of Muslims living there, and in many places there is more of an Oriental vibe. Israel, on the other hand, lies geographically in Asia, but culturally resembles Europe. An extreme case is the Kalmyk Republic, which by all geographical definitions lies in Europe, but it's inhabited mostly by Buddhists. If you like this video, you might also like this one. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.